Welcome to a brand new series all about how to market your portfolio career. And before we kick off today, I want to say it's more than okay for you to have a portfolio career. Over the last 15 years, I've been helping people with their strategy, and the trend just keeps on increasing. Many people want to do lots of different things. Secondly, there are so many opportunities with the internet and the way that the world has changed. And thirdly, sometimes from a practical financial point of view, doing one thing doesn't serve you. You actually need to keep your options open and spread your eggs a little wider rather than just having them in one basket. So over this series, I'm going to be giving you some questions, some prompts, some things to take to your journal. And I really want you to think about what the right answer to these questions is for you. There is no right answer. There is no one way to do this. And so each time you answer, I want you to really tune in and think about the ideal version of this for you and really be led by that. So, number one, the first thing I want to say is if you have a portfolio career or if you're looking to branch out, number one, you have to own it. Again, I've spoken about this so many times in terms of business. Nobody cares more about your business than you. It's on you. So if there are things that you want to change, that you want to improve, it's on you. I know that sometimes we can hope that that validation, that pat on the back is going to come from some external force. But equally, the great news is you can change it at any time. Now, when I first started my portfolio career, it was very much from a need perspective. It wasn't a desire perspective. So I trained as an actor. I moved to London when I was 18. And then halfway through my third year, I got an agent and 2 jobs. And I didn't complete the last bit of my third year because I was out and about. I was getting paid. I had a job. And yeah, it was all great. So what happened then was I finished these 2 jobs and then I was back to London and the auditions were coming, but they were few and far between. And they certainly weren't reliable in giving me an income. So I had to come up with a plan, and I did all kinds of things in those early months, but it was very much like acting was the main thing, and the other stuff, even though acting was taking up the least amount of my time, all of the other stuff was surrounding by it. And when people asked me what I did, I felt like such a fraud. I felt really uncomfortable answering the question. So because I wasn't acting that much, I didn't really feel like I could say that I was an actor because I might not have been doing it in that moment. But equally, I didn't feel like I really embodied the other things that I was doing. That didn't feel connected either. So when people asked me, I would end up telling this long-winded story and people would just look at me and then probably move on. So also what happened in that moment was I got quite emotional about it. Well, I was doing this, now I'm not, and I'm trying to do this, but it's not happening. And I gave so much information. And then when I was 30, I began my coach training. And in my 20s, I began helping people with strategy and moving in that way as well. But it didn't dawn on me that I would be able to own essentially more than one skill. And it really took a while for me to feel comfortable taking up that space. And again, that's a really interesting thing as well. But now, if people ask me what I do, I feel really good about saying I do lots of things. That's how I always start. I do lots of things. I'm an actor, a personal brand coach, a writer, a speaker, a content creator, and it just kind of flows. And then what happens is people might say, oh, right, what kind of coaching do you do? And then it opens up a next question rather than me saying, well, I was doing this and then I didn't, and then I haven't had much. And, there's been a recession and all sorts of I don't have to do all of that long-winded, complicated stuff. So that is my first point, really owning all of it. And secondly, really celebrating it all. I think sometimes for many people, especially if they want to have a long career, the place where they are right now can sometimes feel like they're not in a place where they want to be. And it can be so easy to forget everything that you've done. And many of us were taught to be really humble, downplay things, undersell things, like we don't want to be too much, or we don't want to be a show off, or whatever it might be. But from me to you, I want to remind you today, please celebrate it all. Please champion yourself. Please tell us about it online, about what you do. We really want to hear it. Lots of love. Come back for part 2. If you want to book a strategy session with me, my books are open. I have some spots. Send me a message. Let me know what you need help with, what's going on for you, and we can go from there. Lots of love. Bye.